Hi and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be removing the underseal from my BMW E30 in preparation for the underside repairs. I'll be showing the process from start to finish, including all the tooling and materials used to complete this task. So here is my car. It's a very high mileage E30 Touring which has had a fair share of dodgy repairs, and I just want a fresh start for the underside restoration. There's definitely a large amount of work to be done here, so let's get started on the underseal removal. So to assist me with this task, I decided to take the time to fabricate my own rollover jig. It was done totally from scratch, just using a few measurements from my friend who was using one at the time. This jig has helped me massively throughout the project, and I'd recommend them to anyone looking to do the same. So here are the tools that I planned on using throughout the removal. Now that it's completed, I can say the most used tools were the multi-tool with a scraper blade attachment, the grinder with wire wheels, and the drill with multiple wire wheel attachments. For the most tools used, I will leave a link in the description. So getting straight into it, after this first clip I was quite undecided on whether to carry on filming the whole process, as it became apparent to me that it was not as simple, quick as easy as I first thought. So there may be a few steps missing throughout the first clips, but each step will be showed further on in the video. So with the underseal removed and when you're down to the bare metal, we can look to move on to the paint. This is 2-pack epoxy primer, which is usually used with a spray gun, but I'll be using it with a brush on application, as it helped me to be more precise and to get into the areas which would be tricky with a spray gun. It's a simple 2:1 ratio, which I measured out roughly with small tubs for each area. One thing I did miss with the initial filming was using the rust converter. This goes on before the paint, and I'll show you that later on in the video. The reason why I was to use a multi-tool first was to reduce the mess from using a grinder wheel. It helps take off like the initial bulk of the underseal, which it does with ease, and then you can remove the last few bits with the grinder to get it down to bare metal. So here I'm applying the rust converter to the bare metal. This product is very useful on slightly rusted areas which don't really require removal, but anywhere where it needs to be stopped. The product is called Dinatrol Conver Rust. I'll link it in the description. It is kind of pricey, but you only use a tiny bit and it'll be a huge benefit in the long run. So you simply use it as a brush on application as always, and then what you do is leave it on for at least 24 hours it says, and then the next day wire wheel it off, and then you can look to apply the paint. Something else I missed during the start of this video is that once the rust converter has been applied and removed, the areas that will need work on in the future will get a weld-through primer coat just initially, and then we can go back to that later. So with the use of power tools, there are just some areas you just can't get to. So simply using a small flathead screwdriver and a hammer, or an old chisel slightly radius to the edges, I found that to work perfect to get the areas where a grinder or a multi-tool just can't get to.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Here's a quick real-time clip of how the multi-tool works and how quick and easy it can remove the underseal, and all that's going to save so much mess with the grinder. It was quite a warm day here, which really does help you remove the underseal. I did spend most of the time in the winter until I kind of figured out that the heat helped in the summer. And here we have the completed underside removal. This did take me about just over 3 months, but most of it was spending about 2 hours an evening. Because of such a loud noise, I wanted to be careful of my neighbours, so just kind of spending as little time as possible outside to suit their needs. But yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome. Would recommend it for anyone that has access to such things. So now it's time to move on to the patch repair on the underside, and that's the next challenge.